faith is the evidence of things not seen. Bible. Question is, how would it be different from superstition? How would I know that I'm not landing in trivia? A similar question was posed to Jesus. You have asked that how do we know that your father's kingdom is just as you describe? Can you give us a proof? Can you show us a sign? That was the exact question asked to him. Can you show us a sign? And this got Jesus upset. He said, with your faithlessness, you are asking this question. How will you ever see a sign? He walked away. He did not stop at that place. He just went away. He said, I cannot even talk to you. Then he said that the only sign is that the dead will come alive. That is the only sign. But to see that sign, you have to die. And you won't die because you are faithless. We have two kinds of occurrences in Bible. People come to Jesus and they say, here is my daughter and she is suffering from such and such disease. Can you please cure her? And Jesus cures. Jesus starts walking on water. And his disciples on the other shore, they say, is it you, our Lord? He says, yes, it's me. So Peter says, how do I know that it's you? He says, simple. Come, walk on the river and meet me. You will know whether it's me. So Peter starts walking on water. And after some time, he becomes a little doubtful and he starts sinking. Jesus says, why did you allow yourself to doubt? Now you will sink. Obviously, he does not sink. He is rescued. So these are one kind of exchanges that Jesus has. People come to him with faith and miracles happen. And then there are the other kinds of exchanges where people come to him to test him, to question him, to pose doubts, and he simply refuses to entertain their questions. Those who come with faith find the faith affirmed, and those who come faithless get nothing from him. Those who come already deeply faithful that yes, there is the kingdom of God, and Jesus is the Son of God. For them there are miracles. And those who come asking, after one such incident, people ask Jesus, how did this happen? Remember, they do not ask whether it happened. They just ask, how does this happen? And he says, even if you have a little faith, the mountains will move if you order them to move. Even if you have a little faith, the mountains will move if you order them to move. Thankfully, the listeners do not ask how. It just happens. There is no how. It beats the mind, right? It irritates the mind. Mind asks, but how? It just is simple. There is no question of how. How implies a preceding cause and effect chain. There is no cause and effect chain. It is direct, right from the source. No other cause. Don't ask how. You see, you go out and you find elephants flying. And we often find the elephants flying. We have seen them, right? Initially, we saw a few dogs flying. And then elephants also started flying. Now, if we ask how, what will happen? Not only will we not get an answer, the elephants will need to make an emergency landing. That will be the effect of these questions. So if you want to really see elephants flying, remember this sutra. Never ask how. No elephant will fly the moment you ask how. When you find an elephant flying, just fly with him. Simple. The dogs are flying, the elephants are flying. You too fly. Why waste the opportunity in asking trivial questions? Why waste it? Things happen, they just happen. Don't ask how. So a large group of people come to Jesus. And there are these 3 or 4 disciples. They come to Jesus and they say, we don't have enough food. What to do? Jesus says, whatever you have, just distribute it in everybody. And the food is distributed. And it is said that there were hundreds and thousands of people. And then after everybody has had a gala feast and people are gone, then thousands of baskets are needed to collect the remaining food, the leftover food. And when those people came, the disciples of Jesus had come to him saying, we have just a few breads, not sufficient to feed even 2 people, and thousands have come. He said, whatever you have, you distribute it. And now they are gone, and you require baskets and baskets to collect the remaining food. How? That question need not be asked. It is not a question of mathematics. You will not understand using the calculating brain. In fact, the brain will not understand at all. When you listen to this and you just smile, then you know that you know. But if you listen to this and you get all ruffled up, no, something is wrong somewhere. Maybe here was some quack trying to fool people. Then you are gone, finished. Nothing can be done. The only proof is the proof of John. What is that proof? Die and come alive. Die and come alive.
sometimes it seems to me that faith is about non-questioning. So and I've also discovered that who will question? A skeptical, doubtful mind will only question. But in this regard, even belief is about non-questioning. When we start believing in something, we don't question. And even faith occurs to us that it's about non-questioning. So what's the...
Not at all. In belief, you are afraid to question because you know that questions will shake the belief. Have you ever wondered why you do not question your beliefs? Because you know that questions will shatter your beliefs. In faith, you play with questions. You say, come, keep questioning. Not that I have great answers, but I know that the issue at hand is beyond your questions. It's like trying to shoot a high flying plane with arrows. Your arrows won't reach there. Your questions do not reach there. Belief is afraid of questions. Faith has nothing to do with questions. It is neither afraid of them nor does it invite them. In front of faith, if you toss questions, it won't feel disturbed. It won't feel disturbed. Faith would be disturbed and angered. It would react, sometimes violently. Faith just won't take those questions seriously. Do you understand the difference? Belief is very serious about questions, serious about not allowing questions. Faith does not take questions seriously because faith knows something far deeper than questions. It knows a point that no question can reach. Somebody is coming and asking you, what is the smell of white? Will you start beating up that fellow? Or would you say that it is a heretical question? Would you say that? I know your question is not applicable to the issue at hand. You are not even understanding what you are questioning. Would you send this fellow to jail for blasphemy? He came to me and he asked, what is the smell of white? You know very well that the questioner has no understanding of white. Otherwise, he couldn't have been asking such a stupid question. So when somebody questions faith, all that faith can do is smile. Had you understood faith, why would have you asked questions? Had you understood white, why would you have asked me the smell of white? Belief gets angry. If you attack somebody's beliefs, he will not take kindly to you. Faith laughs. It may not even bother to respond. Or it may respond in a very funny way. You remember? Ramakrishna Vivekananda. Vivekananda says, can you show me God? Ramakrishna says, all right, today or tomorrow. It's a joke. Faith is able to joke with questions. Today or tomorrow. Do you know what Ramakrishna is saying? He is saying you are a creature of time. You exist in today's and tomorrow's. In today and tomorrow will you see God? But Vivekananda is hit. He is the one to get disturbed. For the first time, Somebody has come up with such a direct reply. As if the man is holding God in his palm. Well, it's here. Do you want to see it today or tomorrow? If you come across a man who calls himself a faithful and is yet very allergic to questions, then you should know that he is not faithful at all, he is just a believer. And if you come across a man who calls himself faithful and who is with great effort and great earnestness trying to answer questions relating to faith, then again you should know that this fellow is just a believer. The faithful just lives. His living is the only proof. How else can he answer questions? There is no way to answer questions using words. He will say, look at me. Here I am. And if this doesn't bring you to faith, nothing else can. When my being is insufficient, then how can my words be sufficient? When you cannot listen to my silence, how will you understand my words? We have talked of moo. Moo is such a brilliant joke. Only a very faithful mind can come up with such a thing. Zen monks like Joshu and others, they have said, Buddha is such a rascal. You come across the Buddha, you should totally avoid him. Even his shadow pollutes. And Zen is very categorical in not talking about faith. Faith is not a word that you can associate with Zen. In fact, they would mock the Buddha. They mock everything. Their entire life is a joke. And that is the mark of the faithful man. He jokes. How can he take you and your questions seriously? Bodhidharma, when people would come to speak to him, he would face the wall and answer them. So everybody is sitting at his back and he would face the wall and answer. Such great respect he gave to your questions. You can only joke with questions. What else can you do? Think of it. People have come with their most serious and important questions, and what is Bodhidharma doing? He is sitting with his face to the wall and the back to the audience, and he is answering questions. What else can you do? And this is the mark of a greatly faithful mind. Though again, remember, faith is not a word to be found in Zen vocabulary. It is not a word to be found. It is the very essence of Zen, and that is why the word is absent. When it permeates really, really deeply, then the word gets deleted. I was listening about Aristotle. So He goes to the beach. And there he sees a man who is taking the seawater spoon by spoon, one spoon at a time, and putting it away. So he asks him, "What are you trying?" He says, "I'm trying to empty the oceans." So he says, "What rubbish. Your spoon is so small and the ocean is so large. How will it ever happen?" The man just laughs. That is the reply of a faithful. He has done what he wanted to do. And Aristotle was a man of knowledge, a logician he was. He's the father of Western thought. Logic. Spoon in the sea. Message is given. And there are thousands of other stories. In no story will you find a question on faith being taken seriously. In no story will you find the words ever satisfying the questioner. It is impossible. Impossible. There is a practical difficulty as well. Whenever the proof is about to be given, the questioner faints. So what to do? He either faints or runs away. And again, there are so many stories that tell of the same problem. That the fellow comes and he is very eager. "I want a proof." "All right, I'll give you the proof." And the moment the proof is about to be disclosed, the fellow simply collapses. Now, how can the proof be given? Do you understand the meaning of this collapsing? The proof of faith can be given only to the faithful. And to be faithful means the collapse of ego. So the one who is asking for a proof, he will never get a proof. Who gets the proof? The faithful. And who is the faithful? The one who remains after this questioner is gone. So that is indicated by the word fainting or collapsing.
At least on this, if a question is arising, there is a sheer proof that you're faithless. I mean, forget the answer. If the question is arising, it is wrong.
And there is one more thing, like in different traditions.
But you must, but allow me. But you must still pose the question. Why? You'll get a joke. That's how jokes are born, when faithless questions are posed. See, I'm only half joking on this. Yes, questions on faith cannot have an answer. Yet those questions must be posed, because posing those questions would expose the stupidity of those questions. And that is the joke. How stupid this question was. That is the joke. So don't let that question fester. Expose it. Exposing it is important. It has already come. Now, can you suppress it? It has already come. Now that it has come, speak out. The minimum that you will get is a joke. And if you're lucky, you may get faith.
Question is arising.
And this question also shows about the question that he's not a believer, mere believer. The fact that he's coming up with
Yes,
the
yes,
question,
good, yes.
it gives
Nice,
the courage
nice,
to-
nice. That at least you are not trapped in superstition. Yes, good. So, do not misconstruct the entire dialogue to mean that questions are bad. Questions still have a useful role to play, right? If you do not speak, if you do not address those questions, you do not expose them, then they will remain there and gain power. So bring them out. By bringing them out, you are saying, all right, because you are so fond of troubling me, now come out in the open and trouble everybody. Let's see how much power you have. Come out. Why just disturb me? Come out. And then chances are the question will faint. So it's okay. Have you seen this? Your most acerbic questions, your most diabolic questions, they faint before being asked. Have you seen this? You very well have the worst of doubts, right? Don't you have? But when the moment comes to express those doubts, what happens to them? Those doubts start hiding. No, it's all right. No, I never said that it is so bad or something. No, there is no need. Fine. No, let's not talk about it. The fellow sits in your head. When the moment comes to talk, this fellow doesn't want to come out and talk. And when you are somewhere else, when he knows that there is no opportunity to talk, then he will shout. He knows that there is no opportunity for you to be answered. Then he is talking. Have you seen that? He keeps talking and talking. When he talks, he just says, oh, yes. Yours is a profound doubt. I second your suspicion. Now let's take a shared oath. Because this question is so important, and this is the oath, because this question is so important, we will definitely ask this question. We will not shy away. After all, this question is so important. You're shouting this question all the time in my mind. So now, we will give this question due respect. We'll raise it. And then what will happen? Let's see. Bring that question to this commitment that you keep shouting all the time. Now let's shout in the open. Why only here? Why only in my mind? Let's shout in the session. And then let's see what happens.
So sometimes you don't question because you're a believer. Because when you question, your belief will get shattered in the first place.
Oh no. When you have faith, the faith itself gives you the courage to question. kindly do not think that the faithful man is some kind of a conformist, an obedient conventionalist, who does not debate or argue or question. He does debate, he does argue, he does question. In fact, he is able to call into question even those things that are a taboo to be discussed in the open otherwise. Only the faithful mind can lay open everything threadbare. I'm not afraid. Let's talk about whatever you want to talk about. Let's talk about.
There are other type of faithfulness. One is, how to say, it's a genuineness, clear way. Other is in the negative way. Supposing somebody tells some X tells Y, that you go and steal his material. That fellow does his, what I say, diligently, hopefully. It's also a type of a faith.
You're talking about loyalty. Loyalty. See, in faith there is surrender. What is the difference between being loyal and being faithful? It's important to understand this. What is the difference between being loyal and being faithful? In both, you are saying that something is bigger than me. In loyalty as well as in faith, you are saying something is bigger than me. The difference is, in loyalty, you have made some worldly object bigger than you. In faith, there is only the one that is bigger than you. So loyalty would never be absolute and undivided. You would always have many masters. And you remember, because it is Christmas Eve, Jesus saying that a man cannot have two masters. That is what happens in the case of loyalty. You are loyal towards this and that and that and that and that and that. Partially loyal at all places.
And sir, one more thing that you said that I saw in your video, honesty. One that you become bigger than, like if you take honesty that I am honest, then you are bigger than honest.
Obviously.
And in loyalty too, then you are bigger than loyalty.
Wonderful, because you have decided to be loyal, and you can also decide
Not to be loyal.
not to be loyal, and you can choose
To be loyal or not.
and the object of loyalty.
Okay, yes.
I am loyal towards this fellow, and there would always be conditions attached. There would always be conditions. I am loyal to him because he is my husband. I am loyal to him because he is my employer. This is not faith. Faith does not have an object. Can you understand this? Faith has no object. Yes. Loyalty always has an object. Loyalty always has an object. Faith is always absolute. Loyalty is not. Faith has all the characteristics of time and space. It keeps coming and going, changes with changing circumstances. Faith does not. It does not quiver.
Loyalty is also very fragile.
Very fragile, yes. It's like taking the membership of a political party. You can switch from one party to the other anytime.
It's because you are fragile.
It's because you are fragile. Well said.
When the mind is talking so much, I've observed whenever I have thousands of questions or at least 2 or 3 questions, I come to the session, I ask one, but it remains 3 or 4 going on at the back of the mind. But as soon as the one question and other questions and other you are answering for the others questions, so it seems that it is dissolved. That means it is unimportant. That is a noise. Just
see, no question can stand in front of faith. Not because faith has all the answers. Will you understand this? Not because faith has all the answers, but because questions look stupid in front of faith. It's a strange thing. Faith does not have answers. Do not expect that miracle, that you will come up with a very convoluted philosophical question and faith will come up with an exact answer or something. That won't happen. It's just that when you are in front of a saint and you are asking a philosophical question, you would look like an idiot. The saint may even say that, "Sir, what a great question you have asked. Now let me dance." If you are done with your question, may I continue with my dancing? And you will look so utterly stupid. So Jaydeep has gone there and asked a great question like he does. And the saint is listening. Wide-eyed. Oh my God. Such great question. Profound thought. And once he is done with the question, what does the saint do? He starts dancing. You wanted to ask a question, you have asked. Now let me dance. What is the logic of dancing, sir? Tell me. Why should one dance?
How?
And how should one dance? And also tell me how to write jokes. Give me an algorithm to produce jokes.
Learn from the elephants.
Faith comes from exactly the same place jokes come from. Faith and jokes have a lot in common. They both do not come from the center of logic. How will you tell this to the Japanese?
If they will understand this. If you have more than one master, you are just avoiding surrendering.
There's this beautiful verse by Kabir. शिष्य पूजे गुरु आपना, गुरु पूजे सब साध. Couple that with एक साधे सब सधे. When you are surrendered to one, through that one you get the essence of everything. But if you are going shopping, then you are choosing like a shopper does. शिष्य पूजे गुरु आपना, गुरु पूजे सब साथ. So, in being surrendered to the one, you get the essence of everything. But in running around here and thither, you get nothing.
उसमें भी नोटपैड में है जो आप लोग है कि जो शूद्र के पीछे दौड़ता है उसे शूद्र भी नहीं मिलता, और जो अस्मिन के पीछे दौड़ता है उसे